Hey Queens, I am back today and I'm wondering if you've ever felt like dating was a waste of time and all men are crap, or you just had a lot of disappointment during dating. If you're not entirely happy with your dating life, then this video is for you. So, the second biggest problem when you're out dating is dating a man that is not that into you. He doesn't see you as his dream girl. So in many videos, I've talked about, this very aspect, right? And I've given examples, but I really think it deserves a video of its own because it's literally the reason number 2 people fail in dating. The number 1 reason is, of course, that you don't know what you want and you don't have any specific, intentions other than, having a good time and getting all, cozy feelings or love, as some like to call it, but we know that's not it. So the number 2 issue in dating is that you're dating someone that is not that into you. As I said, I've talked about the scenarios that I'll mention now. Imagine that you're out on a date, and in the first scenario, the guy is like, oh my God, the way he looks at you, you can tell he's nervous. He's really, really into his body. He's just mesmerized by you. He is kind of hypnotized with you, and you just made a really, really good impression with him. And not only that, but he continues to show this interest, to show he's really, really into you. So realize that I didn't say he'll tell you he's into you. I said he shows you he's into you. In the second scenario, that is very common, you met someone and he might say about you, yeah, she's hot, she's pretty nice, I like her, let's see where it goes. You see, a man instantly knows if you are the wife kind, if he sees you as a type of girl that he would marry, or are you going to be the convenient girl? Or are you going to be the one-night stand girl? They know within a few seconds of having seen you in what category you'll be. With women, it's not quite like that. So why should you only, and let me just, before I go further, with men, you can't really convince them. You are not there to prove that you're all that. If he's not that into you from day one, can things change? Sure, everything's possible. But the reality is that you can't really convince them. It's a really, really chasing energy. It's pick me energy at best. And I've never really seen in my practice or in any scenario, a situation where there were issues when he was like, smitten with you right away, and he just showed you he wanted you in his life forever. So why should you date someone that is not crazy about you? Why? You don't think there's someone out there that has been looking for you their entire life? And I think a lot of times this comes from self-sabotage. Kind of like, I'm going to be disappointed in the end, so I might as well like not get too excited. And that, ladies, is the number one sign you are not in your feminine energy. Because feminine energy is literally the frequency of hope, the frequency of what if. What if this is my last first date? What if he's the one? And when you keep playing small and going out with men that are not that into you, and you know it like so deeply in you when he's not that into you. Why? Because you also know when someone's crazy about you. There's no questions. There's no, texting, your friend like, oh, is he really into me? Like, no, there's no question, it. So you wanting to avoid disappointment and playing small and going with this half-assed energy, what do you think is going to get you? So why wouldn't you only date, entertain men that are only crazy about you, that see you as their dream woman? I don't know about you, but I was never into time wasting. I never needed, men for the sake of being lonely. Like, I was so busy. Like, I didn't need them for fun, because I had a really fun life back in the day. And I mean, I still do. It's different, right? But back in the day, when I was young, like, in my 20s, like, I had plenty of things to be entertained with and seeing the world and all these things. Sure, did I go out, like, I was party central back in the day. And we're talking Rome, Ibiza, we're talking Rio, with friends. Like, I was party central back in the day when I was in my early 20s and teen years. So God freaking knows I've known how to have fun in my time, right? But when it comes to like really, like, once you're not a teenager anymore, once you're not like 20 anymore, like, looking at men just for fun, I don't know, ladies, because at the end of the day, you would be the only one crying in the corners of why your dating life is miserable and so on and so forth. Like, you're the only one dealing with the consequences, right? Once you hit a certain age, once like, you should perhaps want to meet the one, right? I mean, to each their own, like, right? Unless you want to do this forever. I know people like that. Absolutely. I don't think if that's you, you would be in this channel. But yeah, so why would you not? Why would you settle for less? Why would you settle for someone that is kind of lukewarm about you? And, so the number one sign that he's not that into you, that he doesn't see you as a dream woman, is that you don't really know where you stand with him. You don't know really where this is headed, right? That's a number one sign you're not his dream girl. And when you've been on a date with someone that is crazy about you, you know, and it will continue to show very soon. Now, believe it or not, a lot of the women in my practice that come for like dating advice, they don't want that guy. They don't want the guy that, that is crazy about them, where they know why, because they're used to doing all the chasing. They're like, no, 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 I don't want a fan. I don't want like, you know, like they're like, we should be equal, kind of like we like each other just as much. Like, I don't want a fan. What she's really saying is she wants tit for tat. She wants to chase just as much as he chases her. So she wants to give just as much as she gives him. And what does that mean when you are a giver in a relationship? You are very much in your masculine energy. And sure, men will do you. Oh yeah, they will do you for a while, up to 2 years or even more. Right? But what you're really looking for is on the other side of that, because men want to give to the dream woman. So I talked about an example. I think I want to mention it again for those who haven't seen that video. There was someone that I knew, kind of, this lady, Sandra. When I first came to Canada and I was, doing rotational dating and all of that, circular dating, Pierre, my husband, my now husband, he proposed, and we had only been dating, like 3 months or something like that. And she was like, oh my God, isn't that so soon? And she's like, Alex, you should be ashamed. It only took you like 7 years to propose. And we had been living together for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. She's like, excuse me? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for you. And she's like, don't you think that's too soon? And the answer is absolutely not, because men that are crazy about you, that see you as a dream woman, they want to take you off the market, like for real seas. Like for real. They want to see their life with you. Yeah. So they're not messing around. They are, and I'm not talking about when a guy tells you to be his roommate and tells you to like share bills with them. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like fairy tale, if you will. Fairy tale, yeah. Let me just say that, yeah, fairy tale. Because you know what? Fairy tales absolutely freaking exist. My clients find their fairy tale, story. Mine was very much so a fairy tale story. And needless to say, my channel is for the women who want the fairy tale and more. They want it all. You're not settling for garbage or for some guy that is not that into you. So this video is not about why should you date a man that sees you as his dream woman. This video is about why the hell should you date someone that doesn't see you as a dream woman. So the story with Sandra, they went on to have 3 kids. They went on to be married for, I don't know, 7, 8 years. Or I don't know, like they were together, something like that. But they're now divorced. Okay? They're now divorced, and like them, hundreds of other stories where the guy was lukewarm about the girl. So men also settle. They absolutely also settle for women that they're just okay with, women that are convenient. So are you the convenient woman, or are you a dream woman? And let me just say, there is an energetic match for you out there. I want you to know that there's someone out there that is dying to be with you, that would be crazy about you, that you would be a dream woman, for. So you staying in the frequency of hope, that is your actual feminine energy, right? And allowing yourself to dream that and feel that and being in that literal frequency so that you can, access that energetic match at that level. So I'll make a part 2 of how to know you are the dream woman, right? I mean, I kind of said it overall, kind of like you'll know, but we'll do like a more detailed video about that. So stay tuned for that. Please don't settle. Please have enough self-respect and self-love to be like, no, like, why should I be with someone for whom I'm just a convenient girl? Or, why should I settle for anything less than not being someone's dream woman, right? And my friends or the women that told me that they didn't want a fan, that they wanted a half chase too, they're still single. And they're in their late 40s or in their 40s. I'm like, okay. And no, they're not happy about that. Of course they're not. So anyway, ladies, that's it for now. Stay tuned for the part 2. Bye now.